All right, let's talk about the other guy, Baker Mayfield. And I think both of y'all have some excellent insight that you can add to this because Baker is in a very similar situation to Geno Smith, who Eric, you cover the Seattle Seahawks and what they wound up doing with Geno. Greg, let's start with just brass tacks. I mean, where do you think it stands with Baker and the Buccaneers? I mean, as soon as Mike Evans signed on Monday, all the smoke was like, don't be surprised if Baker doesn't make it to free agency either. Still have not quite a week because the negotiating window opens on Monday, but they do have plenty of time to still work something out. Do you have any inkling as to whether that might happen?
I think he'll be back. I think everything the Bucks have done to this point has been with an eye towards reminding Baker that he has familiarity and comfort and things he knows in Tampa that he won't have anywhere else. Even again, like there's a little bit of intrigue when Dave Canales and Brad Idzik leave to go to Carolina. Now he's going to have a new offense. They go out of their way to go get Liam Cohen to get a coordinator he's worked with in the past, a guy that is fine no matter who your quarterback is, but he has a specific relationship with Baker Mayfield that helps that situation. So I look at what Baker was doing before he got to the Bucks, and it's a long, wandering 3 teams in 1 year, not a fun time. So for him to have the success he had in Tampa, to reestablish himself with a new home, a city he likes, a fan base that's embraced him, a team that has made him a leader, I don't know that there's enough money from an outside offer to convince him to roll the dice and move his family and start from scratch in a new city when he has a good situation here in Tampa. I don't know what that dollar value is in terms of 27 a year, 33 a year. It's kind of like what's the smallest amount of money that'll make him feel valued, but allow them to surround him with the kind of talent you need to repeat as a division champ.
Which, and that goes back to my point. I think what played out with Geno Smith and the Seahawks feels awfully similar to what's going on with Baker Mayfield. I don't know what the number is going to be, but I would imagine the deal that Baker eventually signs will look at least somewhat reminiscent of that deal that Geno got in Seattle, 3 years, 75 million. Baker Mayfield can clearly win you the division. He's already done it. And if he's not setting the market at quarterback, which I don't think he will, then Tampa Bay can obviously put a really good roster around him. But it's going to be interesting to see what that limit is and how long that satisfies the Buccaneers. Because, like I said, I mean, you can win with Geno Smith. Geno Smith has played good football in Seattle, but how long can you be satisfied with that when you are competing against rosters like San Francisco or star quarterbacks like some of the young guys coming into the league? So, I mean, Greg, what is your? And I mean, the vibes in Tampa seem so good. Don't get me wrong, and I love that story, but I wonder what the long-term outlook is here, especially you consider Mike Evans, how much longer will he play after this deal that he just signed? Chris Godwin is another guy that's getting older, that's had injury issues. I wonder what the window is for the Buccaneers to look like this if they bring Baker Mayfield back.
Right. It's probably, I would think he and Mike are kind of on that same clock where you got 2 more years to make something happen, and then they'll probably have decisions to make from there. This still has very much the core of their Super Bowl team from 4 years ago. When you think about Evans and Levante David, Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, all those types are all still here. Vita Vea in the middle. You got the young core of that team is still there. They've kind of been able to, I don't want to say rebrand, but move on from Brady. Um, it's one of those where I think you forget because you had 3 years of Tom Brady in Tampa, but this is a franchise that hasn't had a lot of great quarterback play in its existence. So what Baker did last year isn't uh, 45 touchdowns elite, but it's one of the better non-Brady Bucks quarterback seasons. So if you can get that, if you can count on the leadership aspect of what he did for this locker room, I think they're definitely okay with another year or two of that, and then moving forward from there.